and we are doing a brand new Sims 2 speed build today. And so today is definitely going to be a really great day just because I am building a brand new house in Pleasant View for two lovely Sims named Don Lothario and Daniel Pleasant. And you're probably, who is Daniel Pleasant? Who is Don Lothario? And what is The Sims 2? But I will explain all that in this video so you guys can get a bit of a brief backstory and an understanding on why they live together, why I'm playing in Pleasant View, and also, you know, I want to spill the tea about literally everything about these two crazy lovely Sims. So if you guys have not watched the previous two current household videos of the Pleasant View neighborhood, I will leave the link down below in the description to that playlist so you guys can understand on what has been happening, mostly with Cassandra Goss, but how it kind of ties together with Don Lothario and Daniel Pleasant and everything else. But you guys, I have to say, Pleasant View is one of the most drama-filled neighborhoods I've ever played in my entire life in the Sims franchise, because even though there are not a lot of families in Pleasant View, they have their own particular drama, and they somehow all intertwine together besides the Baroque family and mostly the Dreamer family, because those two households don't really connect a lot, but they kind of do, because there's only one particular Sim that connects every single one of them, and that name is Don Lothario. He's dating 4 different Sims in this neighborhood. Well, was technically. He was dating Cassandra Goss, Nina Caliente, and also Kaitlyn Langhart, who is actually the maid for Daniel Pleasant. And Daniel Pleasant is a very wealthy, lovely Sim who was married to Mary Sue Pleasant, who has 2 kids named Angela and Lilith Pleasant, who are both teenagers, but Angela is currently in college at this point in time with her fiance, Dustin Broke. So how this all came to be, how Don Lothario and Daniel Pleasant are living together, doing their own thing, comes to the fact that Don Lothario was dating Cassandra Goss, got engaged, broke up, got divorced, then decided to go ahead and pursue his life with Nina Caliente. And so Nina Caliente was currently pregnant with Don's baby at the time when Don was dating and also engaged to Cassandra, and she was also pregnant with Don's baby. So it was like a whole bit of mixture of craziness happening with both of them. And when Cassandra found out that Don was cheating on her with Nina Caliente twice, she broke up with him and is now living across the street, or was living across the street from Brandy Broke, in that small little trailer over there. And so they lived together for quite some time, and I kind of wanted to see what would happen if Don Lothario kind of met Daniel Pleasant, because Don Lothario is a bit of like a bachelor, you know, wannabe type of person, and I thought, you know, hey, what if Don Lothario kind of, you know, got to know Daniel a little bit more, because he's kind of connected in a way with Kaitlyn, because Kaitlyn is a maid, or was the maid of Daniel Pleasant, or the Pleasant family at the time, and Don was dating Kaitlyn too. And so I wanted to see if Kaitlyn could introduce Daniel to Don so they can get together, see what's what. But Kaitlyn didn't tell anyone that she was dating Daniel and Don at the same time. And that's when they kind of became friends a little bit more, and they hung out a lot more at places, at restaurants and everything else. And when I streamed this family, probably twice, I made it my mission, or not really my mission, I kind of wanted to see what would happen if Don would be faithful. So when Daniel was still married to Mary Sue, and Don was still kind of shacking up, dating with Nina Caliente, she had her baby, and Angela was at college, I invited over Don Lothario to Daniel's house, and it was like in the middle of the night. Mary Sue was upstairs, like I think she was sleeping or doing whatever, but Lilith, the rebel that she was, saw Daniel, her father, kissing Don Lothario in the front yard, and Lilith all her life felt like the black sheep of the family, pretty much her entire life. And since then, she has kind of ruined her family, where she saw them kissing in the front yard, and no, she saw Daniel Pleasant kissing Kaitlyn, and she like kind of broke up the family with that whole scenario. Mary Sue kicked him out, got divorced, blah blah blah, and then afterwards, full force, I think it was the time when Don invited over Daniel to his house, to Don's house, and Nina was, I think, was asleep. They had their dog, they had their baby, and then afterwards they started kissing, hanging out, lovey-dovey, couple, whatever. And then afterwards, when Daniel got kicked out, he moved in with Kaitlyn into a brand new house in the bachelor pad, which is the exact same house of the original Don Lothario's house, because, Daniel's kind of a bachelor as well, but he has a good job. So they moved in together, Daniel and Kaitlyn. Hopefully this is not confusing already. It pretty much is once you learn the whole family tree, which I'll make a video about soon. But Daniel and Kaitlyn were living together. Don and Nina were living together. I invited over Don to Daniel's house at the time. And then, it wasn't planned. I wasn't planning this to happen, but it happened. I wanted Nina to get to know, Kaitlyn, and I wanted Don to get together with Daniel a little bit more. So I wanted them to woohoo, but not get caught. So Nina and Kaitlyn were downstairs in the kitchen, eating food or whatever. And I didn't plan this whatsoever. There's a clip on Twitch. You can watch it. I think so. But the Sims, I swear, the Sims have a mind of their own of literally causing trouble for no apparent reason. And when they started to woohoo, oh my goodness, they woohooed. And all of a sudden, I think Nina had an extinct reaction in her brain, what's going upstairs? What's that noise? She ran upstairs, saw them, didn't react at all. But then Kaitlyn reacted. She ran upstairs. She reacted. She was livid. And so she reacted, slapped Daniel. And then after a few later, what was it? Nina reacted to Don a little bit later, slapped him, and at the time, none of them were married or engaged whatsoever. Daniel had plans to kind of be engaged to Kaitlyn at some point in his life, but he was like, I don't know, I like Don more. And so basically, Kaitlyn was like, I'm done, I've had it with you. I've been working for you for so many years since your kids were literally in diapers. She has had it with the family, the Pleasant family, the family lineage, and she just basically gave up. So she left. She left her daughter, Scarlet, with Daniel and Don at the time. And she didn't really want to be a mother. But when she found out she was pregnant, she was like, I'll just go through with it, see what's what. We might get married one day. And, 360 turn, that didn't happen. And so Kaitlyn left her daughter with Daniel. And a short while later, Don kind of moved out of the house where Nina was living and kind of just moved in with Daniel to pursue that relationship. And deep down in my heart and everyone else's heart in that chat of Twitch when I was playing that household, felt that Don would be faithful, but then he wouldn't at some point because he is who he is. He's a bit of a player, bachelor, and doesn't know how to be in a committed relationship. And he had the fear of becoming married to Daniel, but also kind of having kids with him one day, or adopting, or having kids in general. And since then, he kind of adapted to it where I like him, he likes me, let's go and get married or whatever. And well, they didn't get married yet, but we're getting to that point in this video of the storyline. And so when Don and Daniel started living together for a while, I wanted them to one day move out, in a new house, which I'm building right now. But as time went on, Kaitlyn has gotten thoughts in her head that, I think I made a big mistake on leaving Scarlet with Daniel and Don. And she wanted her baby back. She wanted Scarlet back for just to take care of. And she felt that Daniel was an unfit father because he left his kids. He kind of basically ruined the family whatsoever. And then afterwards, he kind of, because Kaitlyn literally worked for the Pleasant family for years, and when she got shacked up with Daniel and had a kid with him, she kind of thought to herself, he's an unfit father. He doesn't really know how to take care of his kids. Lilith was a rebel, and was a gold stewardess, and really didn't take care of Lilith as much as he wanted to. So she kind of put in her mind that if Scarlet goes down that path again like Lilith, I don't want that for my daughter. So she basically made it her mission to sabotage his life, where calling, Child Protective Services, calling and saying that he was an unfit father, blah, blah, blah. His house is a pigsty. His house is not really fit for a child, or yet, let alone a toddler now. And kind of wanted to ruin his life, to take back Scarlet into her care. And so far, that hasn't been successful in her eyes. But Daniel's eyes, he made it his mission, because he knew what was going on. He knew that what Kaitlyn was doing at the very start. And when he saw it happening like full force, when Child Protective Services came to his store saying, we got a call from this Kaitlyn girl saying, she's the mother of your child, Scarlet. And they basically kind of walked around the house for a while to see what was going on. Things were clean and the child was okay. And the child was fine. The house was clean. And nothing bad happened. So Kaitlyn's plan failed at that time. And she's still making her mission to kind of take back Scarlet. So, this is when Daniel and Don, or mostly just Daniel, has sat down with Don to tell him what was going on and what was happening, and kind of wanted to say that, I really want to move out of this house and go somewhere different. And I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And so, technically at the time, I didn't know when Daniel was going to age up into an elder. So before he proposed to Don, he aged up into an elder. So now he's an elder, gonna die very soon. Hopefully not that soon. I'm gonna have him work out a lot more so he can live a little bit longer. So he proposed. Don said yes, and I was shocked. I was like, wait, I didn't know he was gonna say yes. I thought he was gonna say no. So he accepted the engagement, but I'm not really sure he's gonna follow through with the marriage and the whole thing. And if he falls through it, I don't think it's going to last that long. Maybe a year or 2 or 3 by the max. And then get divorced or whatever. Because, reasons. And since then, they lived in this house with their new daughter Scarlet, who is Kaitlyn and Daniel's daughter. And Don's baby, named Nina Caliente, hasn't really visited his daughter in, let's say, 3-4 years now. And it's kind of sad that he hasn't visited his own daughter, and his his son he hasn't really visited since one time. But that's Cassandra's thing. Cassandra's I don't want you to meet your son at all. I don't like you. You're irrelevant. So anyway, basically, now that we're at this point in time of this video and the storyline, I have to say that Don and Daniel and Scarlet and their dog, who's an elder, Buffy, are doing quite well for them. Quite well in their, living situation. And so far, I don't know when they're going to get married. I don't know if Don and Daniel are going to follow through with it or not. And when I was streaming this build and kind of doing some gameplay, I, in the chat, thought, what if Daniel was the one that was, the cheaty type of sim that would not be committed to the relationship, where they got married and throughout the relationship Don would not know anything about Daniel cheating with multiple people, because he is still he has a pleasure aspiration, I believe. And so we thought, if Don quits cheating and going out after multiple people, what if Daniel did that and Scarlet knew? But if Scarlet told Don about, that his father was cheating on him with somebody else or multiple people, things would go badly for her. And Daniel basically said in his mind, if that happened, if that happened when Scarlet was a child and she saw the cheating happening, and if Scarlet told, basically Daniel would say that if you told Don that I was cheating on him with multiple people, I would send you to boarding school, or I would send you back to your mother's house where she's not in the best particular situation. And in our minds, we thought that could happen. It could maybe potentially be bad if that happened in the future, but we don't know. Daniel's an elder. He could die at any second now, or something bad could happen to Don, because Alexander wants to get revenge on Don Lothario for what he did to his sister, Cassandra Goth. And because Cassandra basically got her heart broken by Don, that was her love for so many years, fell in love, got engaged, had a baby, blah blah blah, and bad things happen. And so Alexandra is like making a plan to get revenge on Don, basically either, you know, make him disappear, or doing something by suing him and making him go to jail. We don't know just yet, but time will tell in the future. But either way, I have to say that this whole storyline is so confusing that it probably makes no sense to you, but go ahead and leave in the comments below of what do you guys think of the storyline that I just made while playing this whole household and the whole conspiracy theory and the drama and the tea and literally everything, because this whole family is a hot mess where it's turned for the worse for mostly just Daniel and Don, and even though they're living great right now, it can end badly for them, especially if Don wants to meet his son and Cassandra has to go to court, and there's a lot going on with this family, but it's okay, but not okay. But we move on, so thank you next. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and actually wrap up this voiceover right here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below, as always, of what are your thoughts and opinions are about Don Lothario and Daniel Pleasant getting married and potentially might not last forever. And what do you think will happen to Scarlet when she becomes a child, or now as she's a toddler? But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys all in the very next video. Bye!